Have you carved your jack-o'-lantern this year? Need a little inspiration? Check this out. Here's just one of the creations I spotted at Taste of the Vine. It was one of the events in Kohler last weekend for the big food and wine experience, and this one was my favorite. Kind of like a football mouth on that guy. So I called up Chef Ulrich at the American Club, and I said, who carved those pumpkins? Well, it was Dean Murray. He's a cook at the Wisconsin Room at the American Club in Kohler, and this is amazing. I have to say, I was just stunned at what you're able to do. How long have you been carving?
I've been carving pumpkins for about 10 years now, yeah.
And what inspired you to do it? I mean, did you do it like as a kid, like we all do, just carving out the triangle eyes? Did you start that way?
Not really. I was in a vegetable carving class at culinary school, and it happened to be Halloween, so I picked up some pumpkins, and then Crazy Creations have come out every year since.
Perfect. And actually, the Food Network took notice. You did a challenge. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this month on Food Network Challenge, there's 4 carvers from around the country, and I competed, and going into the last round, it was really close, but you'll have to watch the show, which should air again on Halloween night.
Yep, it already aired once, so maybe you saw it. It's going to air again on Halloween. But the big news is that the White House called you up?
Yeah, I'll be heading out in a couple days here to go to the White House, and we're going to line the drive with a whole bunch of jack-o'-lanterns. I think there's 5 of us carvers going out to do it.
Presidential pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
So do you have any idea what you're going to
do? I have to see the pumpkins first. I usually see the pumpkin and then see the face in it, and then I go after it.
And then you're inspired. Well, speaking of that, you left all the stringy stuff on this one. What inspired you by this pumpkin?
Well, I really liked the fact that the vine was still on there, and I went to the field and picked this from a Kohler field, and then the face came after the vine was already on there.
It's so cool. And you told me you got points off for leaving the vine on during your Food Network challenge?
Yeah, one of the judges said that.
Good Day Wisconsin won't give you points off for that. Why don't you talk about some of the tools? Show some of the tools that you use to carve these pumpkins.
I use a drywall saw to cut the hole in the pumpkin, and I cut my holes in the bottom of the pumpkin.
Can you see that? Why don't you do the top?
If you cut it in the top, it shrinks, it falls in. It's hard to light a candle by sticking your hand down in there. This way you can light a candle, set it over it. You can cut a little hole in the back for a vent, and it works much better.
Smart.
I have a big ladle that I've sharpened one edge, but scrape the gunk out of the inside. Okay. A apple core works really great, twisting it to make the pupils in an eyeball going on. A drywall rasp just shaves the skin off the outside.
I was about to say, just go in your, your kitchen utensil drawer, and you might find things, or in the hardware store.
The hardware store, but 90% of it is done with a little paring knife, just a cheap little paring knife.
Can you kind of show us what yet needs to be done on these guys?
Yeah, if I wanted to continue over here, we could do some more vines into the leaf here, and that's pretty easy. This guy came about because of the green color on him, and I followed around the green color to make the leaves that go around that become the hair on the tree of this pumpkin. So we come along like that, and the pieces just fall out. We use clay tools a lot just to kind of scratch away and scrape away,
cool.
Which works great on a pumpkin that I'm doing a wood grain on because it gives it that texture.
And you need to have a pretty thick pumpkin.
The heavier pumpkin, if you're going to pick out a pumpkin for 3D sculpting, pick the heavier pumpkin that feels really solid and sounds really solid. This one's really solid, this one's not as, and you can hear the difference, feel the difference when you pick them up.
Well, there's a great YouTube video of Dean doing some of these creations using power tools, so I'll post that on my Facebook page. But you are actually using your carving skills all year long at the American Club.
Right, we have many venues at the club that allow me to use my skills that I wouldn't be able to use in a lot of other places. I do cheese carving for the club, ice carvings for our Friday night and Sunday brunch, and I'll be doing snow carving this winter for a winter festival at Wood Lake Markets, and there's...
So if you ever see a carving in Kohler, it's probably Dean's work. Thank you so much for sharing some of your tips and showing us your great gourds, your perfect pumpkins, and now presidential pumpkins. Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
Don't forget Food Network Halloween night.